Hello, everyone, and welcome to another puzzle piece. That was not Celeste music. Celeste music would get my streamed copyright claimed, so that is public domain music, aka what is behind like 5-year-old Dada's beautiful videos. Um, yeah, but I am back with Atari, the company that wants to keep milking nostalgia, and I will assist in this milking. Um, yeah, the song's in the description if you want to see, but um, yeah, I guess since the last stream they announced their like Atari handheld thing. That's like I need to show it off on stream real quick. Let me pull that up. But it has all the weird controllers. Atari handheld. Oh yeah, they're Game Station Go. Let's hold this. We've got. Let's just use this real quick. This little. Yeah, so you see, it's got the numpad on the right side. The it has a joystick, a D-pad, and one of those like turn ones at the bottom left. Oh, sorry, the track. Oh no, the top left might just be the trackpad, the turn, and the bottom left is the ball. All these are control schemes we'll see today. Foreshadowing. Yeah, dude, I don't know. There's a couple games from that era where it's like, oh yeah, like using, early strategy games. Like okay, like numpad makes sense. But like otherwise, damn. That numpad controller is disgusting. Yeah, let's head into it. Yeah, this was back when consoles branded themselves as computers, so people didn't get confused. The cat is walking away, disgusted by the Atari-ness. She has a good nose. Right, I use this. Yeah, so all the Pong consoles were slightly covered in the last thing. We won't get to like ColecoVision War or Intellivision War this stream. That'll be the next stream, but I might mention it in here. But that's like specifically one of the DLC packs for this game. In addition to the home version of Pong, Atari released dedicated consoles that played versions of its video pinball and stunt cycle arcade games, but clones were quickly catching up, and the company knew and needed a product that played more than just one game. If we want to earn a permanent spot in these world living rooms. Oh man, that reminded me of the you see these dials on here? So like, a lot of these are like, okay, they control the game pre-boot, so it's just like read the config options, or like game select. Game select, a lot of the Pong consoles would use these to differentiate between modes. And so like, let me go back here and look up one of those like 4-in-1 Pong console. Let's see. Telegames, maybe? No. That's them. I mean, that's like an example of one with just a fuck ton of dials. Like, you would switch between different games that would just basically be Pong, but like, oh, maybe now it's 2v2. Now, like, the background is a different color. And you could also, like, because it's analog, you could switch in between, and depending on the console configuration, you could see, like, one half of the console, like, be still, like, hockey, and the other half be tennis. So it's, like, 2v1. You could, like, do a bunch of dumb stuff like that. It's just, like, it's all analog. for these like dials back when like transistors actually cost enough to worry about that stuff. And it's I don't know, it's charming, charming just how archaic it is. Yeah, the Megablox Odyssey. I think I don't know those ones, instead of having the background be the different colors, you'd put like a little sheet over it to have it be something different and literally just be light. It does look, yeah, some of these do look like old radios, like the wood grain finish. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, Atari, and also the comparisons of like how much this costs compared to today dollars. It's like, I don't know. A couple years ago, before we had the talks about how consoles are so expensive, when we had like the consoles just get discounted over time, it's even more of a deal than it was then. If you look at the dollar amount, because like 200, yeah, $200 being 950, it's like, it's a premium item, but it's supposed to replace all of your one game consoles. What a deal. Okay.
On the simplest level, what the VCS, the Atari 2600, what that is, it's a combination of plastic and computer chips that enables you to play a video game, an interactive video game on your home television, which is something that never really happened before.
If you're making an arcade game, it begins as a hardware project. If you need something more in the hardware, just put it in the hardware and you can use it in your game. The Atari 2600, we didn't have that luxury. The game was already in Grandma's house. It was already hooked up to her TV. And all we could do is make a different cartridge.
Well, you could cheat.
He plugs it in.
It was the thing that made video games a worldwide phenomenon. And all it is it's a box that enables you to play an interactive game on your TV. But on a cultural level, that's such a huge thing to do, because there were two things that achieved that changed the world, literally changed the world. One is it put computers in homes. At a time where IBM only had about 10,000 PCs sold altogether, Atari had millions of units installed, and every one of those was a computer in the home. The other thing it did was it created an interactive medium with television, which was always a passive medium. Before video games, people were just zombies sitting on the couch watching.
Yeah, those, people in the early 70s, lazy, right? Like they just need to go outside more, stop watching their TV, get off their phone. The IBM PC comment reminded me. I watched the Amiga video you recommended, where it's talking about like, oh, here's like the Atari, like the sales, like Atari computers versus Amiga in the late 90s, and then here's IBM PC way up there. It's just like, this is just in a whole other league of sales. But yeah, I kind of didn't go into like, 1989, things are looking up for the Amiga. It does not go into like how it collapsed, like, 3 years later, or like bankrupt 3 years later. But 6 years after that video released, like a month ago, the guy released like, so after this video, I like eBay stalked some reports for like investors to see how many sales they had in the 90s for Amigas. And a year after that, I finally got them. And then 5 years after that, I'm making this video to like calculate how many sales per year they all and Amigas got. Oh wow, your uncle worked for IBM. Damn, that's like pulling a Nintendo card.
TV. But video games turned people into zombies jumping up and down on the couch yelling at the TV. And that was a very different experience. And I think that was huge.
Yes, because as sports fans know, no one ever jumps up and down and yells at the TV unless they're playing a video game.
In terms of taking people from a passive state to an active state. And we're still learning the implications of that.
Yeah. The Olympics never happened. I don't know, how many family members do you have that are just like, just yell at the TV like, shoot the ball, shoot the ball? Yeah. That's interesting. I guess there's not bad blood from the Activision people. If yeah, David Crane was one of the Pitfall people. One of the things back then was that they didn't credit the authors of the games. Or authors really had to hide it. Like in Adventure, you have to go through like a super secret route in order to find the credits of the developer, singular, of the game. I mean, it'll probably go into how Activision formed off of this later, so talk about that then, but it's just fun seeing like a game, a person, as like the standard of this era. But yeah, you can cheat by putting hardware into the cartridges like Nintendo would do in the 8 and 16-bit era often enough. Yeah, the joystick design is nice. It's like, I don't know. It definitely, obviously not every game can do it, but I do wish that a couple more games would like kind of like, you know how there's the classic controllers, right? Like, some games just feel nicer in a SNES. If the 360 had that arcade joystick, that was pretty cool, especially when they were promoting XBLA. Tim Fallon was an example of someone who became way more known afterwards because of that policy. Yeah. Wait, no, isn't that the Rare Music guy? Or not Rare Music, but there's just a super good 8-bit music person. Let me... Yeah, okay, that's the guy. Cool. Okay, right. Yeah, but it's I don't know, it's cool that they had the 360 had that controller. It's like, you know, it'd be a fun novelty just to have one of these lying around. So like, oh, let's play VVVV for like the 7th time, and let's use the joystick this time. Ooh, you know, that's a fun novelty. That's right. If I was more into that stuff, like, I'd get like a fight stick or something. But oh gosh, I just realized early fighting games might have been one button. That's a disturbing thought. And yeah, the paddle controllers. They're nice. But never heard about the like it's also funny, the video pinball, because the Atari had their pinball adventure from last stream. That like, let's put pinball in the convenience of the home. If you find one Atari VCS game in someone's collection, it'll be Combat. That's because it was packed with every VCS sold from 1977 to 1982. Oh wow, I didn't realize it was the launch title. Let's give it a quick I mean, yeah, you can see why it's just a simple enough tank game. Controls. Up, down, left, right, and then the controls. Okay. Things on the other side. Ringer for the Battletoads. They just need to release Battletoads for like Switch Online, so I can just use rewind functionality and stuff to play the game nicely. Because I'm not playing that game otherwise. Oh yeah, right. Because the console, I just realized, because the console has the 2 different game modes. This is game mode 1. Because of all the dials in the front. That's funny. Yeah. Tank Pong, Invisible Tank, Biplane, Jet Fighter. Also, hope you had a good week, Raster Man. Yeah, this like it's like the black box for Nintendo games, like this, you know, text and then like image. I mean, sometimes image. Sometimes you even get an image. But at least Atari didn't do like the Fairchild approach where they just like started numbering the games. Video game 1, video game 2. At least they knew how to market games. But yeah, I don't know, game cases are like I still have some SNES games because that's my parents' console, so I grew up on that. But I bought some more, right? I'm not gonna save those boxes because one, I'm not a collector, but 2, we just have a case of a bunch of like little grips at the bottom that you can put it in so the dust doesn't get in, and like a little holder for them. Whereas like the Genesis, you got like actual open shut cases. Might have been the first major console, the Genesis, to, I guess the Master System would have also done that, but Atari set the way for Nintendo to not do that for any of their cartridge games until the DS. Because even GBA was still cardboard box, so 2004. Fuck. Yeah, just throw your GBA games in like a pile, you know, like dice. Just, it's like those DD players have way too many dice. Just like pull one out, plop it in, you know, it'll be fine. Yeah. Pretty cool. The hex code. Use a plastic bag. I technically still have a few GBA games, but I'm not preserving them. But I have little plastic see-through things. Some people use the older DS carts because they have the GBA slot on top and they just put the GBA, print out the box art, and that's really nice. Air Sea Battle. Oh yeah, another one of the Activision peeps. Look at this. Use your joystick controller with this game program. TM. This warranty does not apply to defects resulting from abuse, alteration, or unreasonable use of this unit. And a 90-day warranty, okay. Yeah. Nice that they have these scans. gosh, the printing press would still have to have like an original they would copy from probably because it's still the late 70s. I doubt they scanned it from that, but it's up-res pretty well, to be honest. Like how... Yeah, that's a pretty good scan. Damn. I'm not going to be playing every Atari game on this. I will play some Snake, though. We'll just do one player. Huh, that's the default. 1 is 2 and 2 is 1. Oh, wait a minute, there's diagonals? Wait, so I want to block off this person, right? That's the idea? Nope. Okay, so... Okay, yeah, nice. Cool. Okay. Yeah, Snake's fun. You can just see all the game save features like, oh yeah, all the good people went to Activision. Like, Snout Zero, oh man. I know I probably told you this recently because I refound the image, but the guess the game Snout thing is still really funny. Oh, Snout was fun. But it's just like all the good people left to Activision, which I don't know. It's just funny, especially because the whole quality of games is what caused the Atari crash. But yeah, let's see how they port games horribly from the arcade. They did have to make it affordable, you know.
The entire reason that Atari created the Atari 2600 home console was to put...
Also, I just like that Atari, like the caption of the Donkey Kong. Like, first off, Outlaw, pretty iconic Atari 2600 game. Donkey Kong, the whole, like, you know, game, the NES being built around Donkey Kong. Right, like, the ColecoVision port is the only, like, decent port before that. It's funny because later on in, like, Atari's lifespan, they actually had a contract for Nintendo's arcade games. So you'd see, like, you know, like 1986, you'd see an ad for NES Super Mario Bros. And then you'd see an ad for Atari 7800 and 2600 regular Mario Bros. At the same time. It's like, what? Why is this happening? Like I accidentally clicked my DualSense X. There we go.
Atari created the Atari 2600 home console was to put their arcade hits into the home. If we can sell home versions of our arcade hit games into the home, we can sell millions of them instead of just take quarters from the thousands of people who go to arcades. And so the hardware was designed to make it possible to play Tank and Pong.
They even call it Tank.
That's about all that they did in the hardware.
So the distinction is this.
Oh, the Pac-Man guy.
Expensive hardware. They get to use tons and tons of hardware, and they get to refresh their hardware all the time.
I had played an Outlaw-like game in the arcade. I think it was Midway. And you know, I was just told to make a game, so I said, well, here's an idea, 2 guys shooting at each other. And
Oh, that Outlaw. I'm thinking of Kaboom. Never mind. Kaboom's iconic. Outlaw's not.
game. My goal is to try to make it like the arcade game, so I could look at the arcade game and say, this is what it has to do. So there really wasn't any need for me to have communication with
They could... I just want to see the side-by-side with the arcade version now.
the arcade guys. I'm particularly proud of the Atari 2600 Canyon Bomber because it also has the Atari arcade game Depth Charge in it. So it turns out that in a 2K byte Atari 2600 cartridge, I simulated both Canyon Bomber and Depth Charge, which were probably $3,000 arcade game hardware.
Honestly, those games, you're not missing much
When I was young, when I was little, I
with the
remember there was
Atari
this
version.
drugstore, and in their comic book rack, they had these abridged versions of great literature. You'd read it, and it was the whole story of Treasure Island. War and Peace, a comic book. But that whole notion of an abridged version, that is what was going to happen.
Do you ever see those? They have them here in some bookstores. It's like it goes through an entire like movie or book in like 11 words with like a picture book. It just describes the emotion of a scene. So it's like, you know, this whatever scene where like two characters are like escaping a prison or something. It's just like picture of them running, and it's just flee, and then you go to the next page. It's like,
when I did Donkey Kong, I had, not surprisingly, absolutely no contact with Nintendo. Coleco was able to get me a machine. So I had a machine that I could play and look at, and I had already played the game.
I love this eyeballing philosophy.
Canyon Bomber, the game is the spec. Frankly, the hardware is so different in its capabilities that
Also, 1 sec.
I can't think of any value I would have had getting in touch with anybody at Nintendo. It's like talking to the guy who created the Porsche Carrera about making a bicycle. I mean, there's not a lot there. Not a lot you're going to tell me. Here's this masterpiece and do it on this toaster. You know, and I was young enough and stupid enough to not be intimidated. And I wasn't, because I was just a kid. And I was like, no big deal.
Yeah, you ever see those, like, especially because game development as a blog, like making videos about your game development has become enough of a form on like TikTok and YouTube. Those people were making the games for the Atari, and that's a little scary. That's what the standard was. Just like, yeah, we can do it. We can do it. Eyeball it. I guess I wouldn't go into the I mean, yeah, we'll play the Canyon Bomber one real quick. 8 video games. Wow. 8 in 1. Okay, using the paddle controller. We'll do the standard. Wait. Oh, are we competing against the AI? I mean, we're doing slightly worse than the AI because of the lead change they got. This is a fun enough for a competitive game. Yeah, we're a little boned. Oh, I see. If you press enter before your thing's gone all the way, it resets it. Yeah. There's little worms in there. But I guess it did skip over the all the Atari Pong consoles are made. The first woman to be a full-time game designer. Damn. That's pretty rockin' box art. Hey MCH, I'm streaming your favorite category, retro. Hope you're doing okay today. We're just looking at this monstrosity of a controller. Everyone's favorite keyboard controller. You know, now that all of our controllers have, you know, more than a button Like, this is a way to lay out buttons. It's just the wrong way. No, I'm going through these chronologically, so I'm still at the second set of 7 with the added DLC. We're going through, playing some stuff, reminiscing about other things. Ooh. You know what I really like, which is very similar to this, except infinitely more aesthetically pleasing. It's in Clubhouse Games. I think it's the 6th game in the 51 Worldwide Classics for Switch. I think it's called Hidden Blast, but essentially you have 4 marbles you have to guess of like the colors and the and what combination of they are. So like 1 to 6, and then 4 of them, what order they're in, and you can do like duplicate or non-duplicate mode, and Mastermind. Yeah, there's like a bunch of different variations on the same like guessing type, but like it's pretty fun, to be honest. Like this, if it wasn't like these cartridges, did he even say in here like what they'd retail for? Like they did say the console would go for $199, but like, what would a cartridge go for? Let me see. Atari 2600 cartridge price. Well, now, yeah, I'd buy that for 25 cents if I didn't have a thing. At the time. 35 and $50. Okay, maybe like $30, depending on the, they'd vary, right? I know, like the SNES ones would vary dramatically depending on how much hardware you'd have, but even some of the earlier ones that were like basic were like, could be 50. Huh. Or maybe they got discounted over time, right? Like they were like launch 20, and then unlike current day Nintendo, they discounted their games. Oh yeah, sorry, CMCH. Yeah. Have a good night then. Oh yeah, the Touch Me, or the Simon Says. Yeah, these are fun little games. Of course, that game I can't play, but pictures. Since the concept of having a video game system in the home is so new, this ad was less about the VCS or its game specifically, and more the idea of adding a game console to a home. We're the games you play on your own TV set. We're the Atari video computer system. Remember Pong? Well, that was just the beginning. Atari is now a sophisticated computer. Also, I love these like late 70s, 80s computer and game ads that are just like the white box with like maybe some text, or like you put like letters out to like other companies in the newspaper or like advertisement. It's, I don't know, it does feel novel. But this type of selection. Do 20 different programs with over 1,300 game variations. So which game do they have that like bumped up the count, like inflated the count? Like, oh yeah, I've written 1,300 lines of code in this commit. 1,100 of them, or 1,150 of them are just package.json changes, or package lock JSON. You guys know Node. JS, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. 1 player, 2 player, 3 or 4. Wow. Well, JSON, okay. But and Jason. I always forget the it's Jason and Sean in Heavy Rain. But I've never heard clips of the Sean scene because doesn't. I think he does the same exact thing like way later. We're the system that's especially designed to change colors to protect and safeguard your TV from any damage. Yeah. Okay, so they do talk about Activision. Around this time, Atari developers Larry Kaplan, Alan Miller, David Crane, and Bob Whitehead come to the realization that the games they had developed for the VCS had brought in tens of millions of dollars in profit, but they were paid very low salaries and did not receive credit for their work. Yeah. Good for them. Dude. Yeah. The Monday I started was a Monday after the Friday that 3 of the Activision 4. Ooh. They weren't completely irreplaceable. Oh, the Sword Quest guy. Oh, that whole Sword... Oh, please tell me they go through Sword Quest. Oh, please tell me. Please tell me. I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead real quick. Sword Quest, Sword Quest. No, they don't do Sword Quest. No. Wait, this timeline's pretty short. I might actually do the next one then. If it... We'll see. Well, like, Sword Quest was... Oh, gosh. I might have to re-look at the Wikipedia page to do it justice, but essentially it was a series of games, like I think 2 released and the 3rd never released, but was planned, or it might have been a set of 4, that had a mail-in prize associated with it. Yeah, no, I'm gonna look it up so I can just read it better. That was like super big in the early 80 magazines. Prizes. So let's pull this up. Okay. Oh yeah, it came with a comic book. There's a major puzzle, and yeah, $150,000. Oh yeah, adventure. Yeah. Well, we'll get to that in a second, but yeah, that was special for people because yeah, let's try to make it have some sort of like the narrative that you might find a couple years later on like the Sierra King's Quest games, but you know, King's Quest had actual narrative, but it would still have that like, you know, put the item here and do this. Contests. So, Earth World, Fire World, Water World, and Air World. Only 8 answer correctly. Fire World. And, yeah, Water World. Yeah, Atari got the... So at that point, because Rasterman, you seem to know a lot about old Jackie boy here. But of Atari being sold, because Atari's been sold a million bajillion times over the years. But of both, like once he got off of Commodore, I guess we'll find out later where Atari gets sold to. It's just funny that they both had they're like PCs at the time. You know, not like they did much because the again the IBM PC. But yeah, that Waterworld contest. Atari was legally required to follow through. So person so the 2 winners from before didn't get because Air World never existed. They got 15,000. Then the Waterworld person, it's like, where did Waterworld go to? Oh, fuck yeah, they have Airworld in here. Oh, that's hype. Oh, that's awesome of them. Okay, so they will go into later. Okay, good. They'll probably say it better than I did. I don't know, it's just interesting that like so late into after the crash already that they still had to do some Waterworld stuff. It's like the last remnants of the to be fair, people were still making Atari 2600 games back into the into their Double Dragon Atari. This is 1989. Oh, that audio. People were still making games from it, but Atari at that point is yeah. It's like people still had the Atari. Yeah, it's cool though. That I don't know, those types of contests like the Nintendo would do a fuck ton of them. But seeing all the hype around getting gamers together for some sort of like finals and people who are super fans of the game and really just showcasing that is always fun. Yeah, Activision. I mean, yeah, they're the first third-party company of Atari that really did stuff. So then everyone got in the game of third-party games. Venture, yeah. Only gonna play like 3 skill levels. Okay, that's good. Yeah. You can see the little block. Got the key. Got the different color rooms. Oh no, the dragon. And then you have to do something here where you have to find a secret pixel in order to get a room open to get the thing. The developer's name. Oh, yeah, the phone book. Everyone was obsessed about the phone book back then. There's so many A-letter company names from back then. Like Atari and Activision and Apple and Acorn and like fucking asshole. I don't know. Like so many. Everyone was obsessed with the phone book. Oh my goodness. Accolade. Yeah, that's another one. It's so funny, but it's like I don't know, was that like there's probably a research paper on like people with last names, kids with last names that start with A versus Z were more likely to be confident in school because they were called on first in the list of names. Yeah, we're just gonna get some old people talking about oh yeah, I was just watching some Psychodicy, and we had Tim Schafer's 50th birthday, and someone asked like, "What were you doing when you were 25?" I was like, "What was I doing? Oh shit, that was my divorce year." Like,
I'd have to say one of the more
that was 10 years ago.
Atari games that hit me hard was Adventure.
Adventure had been a
Yeah, some school kids prefer last. I was a D, so it's like I'm not first, but I'm like pretty close to the top. So, but I definitely noticed. Like, let's say we had a class like 24 students. Let's say 22. 22 is the average Ontario size. No, I'll say 24 for this example. I'd be like student number 8, and I would be letter D, the 4th letter, which like meant that like a lot of it skewed in ways that like other people would probably have the same idea,
very popular game.
or could just be complete chance.
Adventure is related to really a nerdy game. It's related to like text adventures or to Dungeons and Dragons more than any of the other things, any of the other intellectual property or content on the 2600.
so many games were just like kind of shooters and combat and whatnot, things like that were very simple. But adventure really broke the mold for what the 2600 was capable of.
But one of the most I feel like magical, impactful moments on me with the Atari games is that.
So if he turned 15 in begin in 2017, then he would have been 67 kid. So he would have been grown up like 77. He'd be 10 when Atari's about to release their console.
And I saw the cover at the drugstore, because that's where we had to buy video games, at the drugstore behind the photo counter. And I got it home. I was so excited to play it. I just didn't read the instructions.
Rookie mistake. You gotta mandatory reading for these old games. Mandatory reading.
Start playing it. I'm this dot, and there's the duck chasing me, and I got an arrow, and I can't figure out what's happening. He ate me. Oh my god.
The weird thing about Adventure was the dragons were supposed to be dragons, but they just looked like ducks. I don't know what they were thinking there.
The bridge and the bat, and it was so baffling. I really loved that experience of somewhat confused experience, and I feel like that's actually something I love still in games now. When there's that moment of like, what the, where you just get games can do that. They can just surprise you, and they can make you feel really bewildered. And then as you slowly figure out how they work, that's part of the pleasure of them. I think is that not knowing what to expect in them. So that moment of being surprised by Adventure has really stuck with me. Another thing I like about Adventure that I try to incorporate is that feeling that the game is really alive. The characters who are in that world live even when you're not looking at them on the screen. Like when the dragon or the bat flies on the screen in Adventure, you feel like it's been on a journey. It's been somewhere. Oh, the bat went over and it stole the shield. It stole the sword, and now it's in the rooms. Like, you don't feel like it was just spawned in that room. It's been in another room doing bat adventures.
And what it provided for me was a sense of mystery and exploration that would later influence the 2D adventure games that I would make that would help launch my career.
I'm just looking up, because the Accolade thing reminded me that there was, a good, and it does suck when Machinima removed all their videos. That, all the stuff that I watched is just gone. And I found some of the stuff snippets of stuff I cared more about, like your Anoj top 10s. Or like stuff that got put onto other channels later on. There's at least some episodes, but like there's a video game history series called like All Your Base or Belong to Us, and yeah, none of the videos just exist. But I don't know. It would have been nice, because those types of companies like Accolade, I'm not gonna look up stuff about them because they did some cool stuff, right? Like your Star Control, and they probably had some like different 90s Dooms clones and stuff like that. And Bubsy. But yeah, it's it would be cool to have that type of content be like, I'm craving a Accolade video today. Also, I didn't see whether or not the the Bubsy chat was before I said it, but yeah, Bubsy. Oh, it does do the Easter egg, yeah. Yes, it is elaborate. Like, you get makes the wall go away, and yeah. Yeah, it's if it only spread a couple years later, once it was bad not to credit your game developers. It's like, okay, well, we'll spill the beans. So yeah, you gotta get the dot by taking the blue bridge and laying it across some walls, and then it makes the speaker panel go next step. You gotta do more. Essentially, what it's doing is like, it's overloading the sprites, right? That's basically how it works. You get like you know how the video showed us like it's taking the bridge and the bat. It's essentially sprite overloading in the game that makes a wall disappear. And then you go through the wall and it's like, oh, there's a name, right? He's coming in from the left. The dot is he, him. Respect the dot's pronouns. Yeah. Oh gosh, the grams. That's also like, I recently wishlist or watched later some of those Crump videos because I'm like, I don't know. I was a little miffed at Danny for a bit after like the because like he's the king of fucking one night stands, and like there's a whole thing of content creators having, in relationships just more power, and it's like it's not like there's like an age skew. Like he'd one night stand and ghost like an 18-year-old or a 30-year-old or whatever. Um, but like that just kind of, and it was never like an emotional like during the act. There's never like really an emotional abuse there, but just like the fact that he had like so many people he just one night, like that's just how he, goes through his sex. Sit with me wrong for a while, but I think I'm like haven't been exposed to their content in a while, so I'm like probably over it. But it's a funny, it's fun, like let's play. A lot of times I would put compilations on in the background. They're pretty good early on for being like one of the first channels I cared about that did like their different compilations from like, now I watch like a shit ton of dropout compilations that are just made by random people, and but just ingest those, and yeah, that, and so I'm just looking at this like box art of Dodgem as like, whoa, what's happening? Of course, about architecture now. What types of architecture shorts do you watch? But yeah, all these, dude, Carla, Legend, Warlords. Okay, and let's go into the challenge. But I just want to say, having like the box art be like these magical lands, and then just like the game being dots in that era is really funny. I don't know, some that talk about, look at this building, cool in it. Oh, some British architecture. Oh, those aren't on my. It's still a lot of dropout stuff on my feed, and some hockey stuff, some cats, some gaming, some other stuff. Architecture sounds cool for sure.
So one of the first questions they asked me at Atari was, what do you want to work on? So I just said to him, I said, what's the dirtiest, most basic elemental system that you have? And he goes, oh, well, that's the VCS. And I said, well, that's where I want to start.
I mean, the constraints on the programmers.
A comedy gaming. Oh yeah, Pirate Software. I've seen them being pushed around. Vsauce and so on. I got creeped out enough by the Vsauce shorts of like, it just was like just constant unhinged. Like in a full episode, it's like you got like some unhinged moments, and then in the in between, and there's just like all the shorts are just so weird. It's just like, okay, I think I'm good for my Vsauce. But I did watch some of them. They're good.
Were worse
Damn,
than I
Michael's
even
just
imagined were possible.
I don't know.
2600 doesn't draw a screen. It doesn't draw anything. What it does is it has these little logic devices, these counters and shift registers that say this is the start of the screen, this is the left side of the screen. The electron beam is moving to the right. I'm going to count.
Yep, and then like then some come in bursts, like the D&D shorts, even though you don't play, or the cooking shorts. I have some cooking. Like, what's? I never actually go through. Whenever I'm on like my phone, I'll go through and in between YouTube recommended, like I'll do my subscriptions. But also my home. Oh yeah, right. I was doing a lot of like yeah, the Raxd. I was doing a lot of sometimes some Melee stuff or VR stuff or Rain World. I was doing them for Mac Mini for a bit as my thing. Um, Sometimes some sports ones, some animation stuff. Yeah.
I know how fast the electron beam is moving. I'm going to count until the electron beam is somewhere on the screen, and then I'm going to change the color on the screen for a little itsy bit.
There's only one console where you have to think about the electron gun moving across the screen and what machine cycle you're on and when you can show stuff on the screen. That's such a fun and unique and annoying challenge that it really hooks you.
Oh, did he like develop some stuff for Atari as like as side projects when he was growing up? Maybe.
It's the most fun I've ever had making a game. What do you say, Dave?
I wonder though if they'll say whether or not the electron gun had the ability to write. Oh no, I guess it did have the ability to like get having a black screen by just not writing anything if you want like a screen transition versus if you had to write the colors every frame if you wanted. Like, I don't know.
Fun might not be the word.
We'll see. I'm curious though.
You know, it is the most challenging thing you could do. When we were doing it at Atari and at Activision, there were fewer than 100 people in the world who could do what we were doing. And that in itself was, you know, very positive, very uplifting. It's really a sense of accomplishment. If you can create something that, you know, 1 million people love on this horribly limited piece of hardware, you've created something. You know, have a sense of accomplishment.
And there are very few things more technical challenging than trying to get a game out of the VCS in the first place, because the VCS is a very technically limited machine. It sounds like a fabulous thing, and when it first came out, it was, because people had never seen anything like it.
I don't know if other people are as rewarded by it, but you're overcoming tremendous challenges. There's nothing that's easy to do on the 2600.
There's still a lot of programmers today that are like, you know, especially when like ChatGPT came in, you know, some people were like, there's a million different concerns, right? But some people were concerned, like, well, like sometimes like the hard like bullshitting looking at documentation stuff for like half a day and figuring out this like one weird thing on obscure hardware to make it work is like the fun for them. But like if you can just ask ChatGPT and it'll give the answer, that's like less fun for them. For me, that's the headbanging part. It's like, if I'm going to use this thing often enough, sure, I'll learn the documentation. But if I just need this to like migrate a system or just like one little config change, I don't want to do that.
And you're winning, right? I love winning.
And the other thing that's fun about playing them still is that they're all 60 frames a second. They have to hit that or the screen won't draw, you know? So they're all even much better than I think consoles that came out a few years afterwards. They all feel really fast when you play them. No Atari game has any sort of lag or anything because they had no option to have lag.
It's like when.
Yeah, so I guess a way to cheat if you couldn't draw the colors because you're like CPU limited or something would be to have a black background and just draw some of the stuff you need. Like I don't know if drawing like shooting the electron beam, if you know how many cycles that takes for your CPU, or even if that's even the right mind frame to think about it.
Today, in hindsight, people criticize the first screen of Donkey Kong on the 2600. When I finished that screen, I thought it was a miracle. You get people
It is
today saying it's the biggest piece of junk I ever saw.
It also is.
You just have to get perspective of where you were at the time.
The programmers that worked with that machine were magicians.
Let's look at that first. Sorry, just read the description. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I need to show you this YouTube description. So, this is the first screen. You just see the thumbnail. In this version of Donkey Kong, Mario tries to rescue Lisa Simpson from a big gingerbread man while he avoids cookies and smashes magic lamps with a crucifix. Okay, here we go. I'll go through some of the architecture. So we got the Riot chip, so it includes the RAM and maybe some other stuff. The CPU and then the television interface adapter. Okay. So instead of offboarding, like, well, that's the thing. Having, I don't even know if the RAM on this could hold 128 bytes. Is that even enough to hold a single screen of like frame data? I genuinely don't know. So yeah, this would help reduce that. It would help a lot of stuff. The war between two alien planets. We got Space USA and Space Russia. Let's see. Okay, select game variation. Oh, we played the other version of this. Ah. Yeah, we played the arcade version. Okay. Oh, that's good. It's still playable. It's less. Wait, there's no dragon in this? Oh wait, I didn't put the computers in. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, so I still get to throw it. Yeah, this is definitely lamer without the cool aesthetics. Oh, you don't even get the second ball when the and yeah, you don't get the speed up. Huh. Maybe in the other version you do. Ooh, there's a doubles version. Maybe this version? Oh, this one's no grabbing, essentially. Okay, no grabbing makes that not, children's version. The fuck's a children's version? I'm sorry, they just like hit it into themselves because of the collision. That's really funny. Dude, Listen, over 1,300 game variations, you know? Yeah. He got a fucking turkey for 2.5 million copies sold? Damn. And that's good eating. We'll just hit ourselves so little brother can't win. Dude, whole fucking turkey, damn. Why would he leave Atari? They gave him a turkey. That's yeah. Oh, personal tips for success. But even with that, I can see at the people at the time being like, you know, less thrilled or like really being obsessed with the arcade quality, which is why we got shit like the Neo Geo. Okay, so in order to get a kill by ROM, they just basically switched on the fly and showed, limited what the console could see, probably. So this needs 8K. I mean, that's fair. This is a good enough version. I like the different color asteroids. You're not gonna have the I keep thinking Vectrex. That's not the style, it's the fucking line style. Oh well. But yeah, 80% of the there. Here's a place where your job is come in, make stuff pop. Oh yeah, the amount of developers that just say like, you know, Mr. Atari goes, what do you want to make? And they're like, I don't know. I guess I'll make a thing. You just quickly browse through YouTube and the game theorists. Oh, okay. I watched after Map had left because Forrest Lee, who I followed during his stint at Normal Boots, was the movie person. I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch some of the videos, and they were good. I just wasn't super interested in movie stuff. I have no idea who took over the gaming ones or the fashion and food ones. But yeah, FNAF always gets the views. And the new day. Yeah, it was a good day of work. Today I got that. I got an upgrade that I thought at the beginning of the day had a bunch of errors that would block stuff. I got it. It still has errors, but at least it's like throughputting some of the data. So we'll see how much of the data. It's not clear where the errors happen, but like I got it's running overnight, so we'll see. That was good. A good win today. Super breakout for as the Sears store exclusive. Dude, the RTX 50XX line over here is it's gonna be for the first month in February. It's going to be Best Buy exclusive in Canada. Like you can actually buy one of those things in February, but that's really funny. Yeah, we played the arcade version of this. Wait, what? Okay. Oh, fuck. Oh yeah, the Jackbox Survey Scramble, they changed for the paddle version, like how fast the ball goes, how wide the paddle is, and a bunch of config options that might make it a little less stressful for people. Especially with stream delay, giving them like an extra 10 seconds per answer is gonna be great when replaying that. Yeah. Will the ball hit? No, it didn't. Oh yeah, haunted house. Ooh. Oh no, I've been haunted. What are the other game modes? Unlock doors, keys always in the same place. Oh, okay. Ultimate. Oh, you can't even see. Oh, okay. You can see slightly. Cool. A pretty good box art. Yeah, I like that. Okay, what's the recreated version? Oh no, I'm not. Okay. Can you tell me how to get you off the screen? Thank you. Oh, there's like a money system. I'm not doing this. And Yar's Revenge. The opportunity to produce entertainment to potentially millions of people. Well, that was something I always dreamed of. I never knew how I'd get there, but now that I had this opportunity, I didn't want to waste it. Oh, that's cute. I'll play the video in a second. I'm just looking. Wow, why are there so many videos here? Okay. Ooh, children's version. No, you don't get to chase me like that. Wait, can I hit you? Oh, okay. It wasn't showing damage at least.
So I looked over this game. It was
Also, I think I'm gonna do the console war one this time because I wanna gush about Intellivision, ColecoVision, and some of the dumbest gaming stuff you'd ever seen.
Star Castle.
Okay, let's do one now off the top. The fact that like Intellivision released an accessory that just let you play all Atari 2600 games on their console, and like that was allowed at the time because of patents and shit. It's just it's so dumb and so wild. Like imagine like you got a converter for your Series X that just let you play PS5 games. And it's like, what?
I played it a bunch. I thought about it on the VCS. I looked it over and I realized, holy crap, this is going to suck. This is going to absolutely suck. And I could not afford to have my first project suck. I did a little preparation, and then I marched myself into Dennis Kobel's office, and I said, look, instead of doing this, I'd like to do this. This is something that I think uses some of the basic game ideas, but I think this is something that would work on the system. This other one won't work.
Okay.
I just made this little presentation to him. And to his credit, he said, okay, you know what, go for it. The first thing I put up on the screen was an animated character. Most people use a block because they want to start working out their game mechanics and stuff like that. I put up an animation. That was the first thing I put up on a screen. And people would go by and they go, wow, that looks cool. What does it do? I'd be like, nothing. You know, that's what it does. There it is. I said, I'm still working on it. Don't worry. It's like, and then it got to the point where it was time to actually play it and have some of this stuff. So I had achieved my goal of trying to make something interesting, and it sucked as a game.
Let me look
and I
up
was
the
exactly caught in the place I didn't
the
want
version
to be.
that's
So
on
what I did
the
was I started
arcade.
taking feedback, which was extremely painful. To hear people telling me how much my game sucked. The only thing that really made it tolerable was that I wasn't so self-deluded at that point that I didn't realize it sucked also. Until I worked out making some of the changes and getting it through, I was in very bad shape. And I was feeling some very negative feedback from some other people. And I was feeling, you know, I'm usually the person who's hardest on myself. And that was a tough time for me. And I had to get through that before I could hear what people were saying and start to work on it. And I had to release myself from, but I have to have this, but I have to have this. You know, as a therapist, I always catch people when they say I have to. I always love, people say, you know, I have to, but I have to do this. And I always stop and I say, look, you don't have to. Obviously you don't have to because you're not doing it, right? You don't have to, but you could, but there's probably a reason you're not. And the reason I'm able to give that lesson to my clients now is because I had to get over that. I had this have to that was making things not work. And until I could let that go, I couldn't make the game succeed. And when I did, it forced me to think in new ways, to think outside the box, and to go come up with some other left field solution. And when I made those changes, then
Oh, you're supposed to cross the screen to actually do stuff. That makes sense. I just stayed on the left side. I'm like, oh, there's a thing there.
yours was really good.
Oh, maybe you have to go in the middle to charge up yourself. That's why it's like rainbowy. Oh yeah, it seems like good. But like apparently he submitted a lot of stuff for this, so let's keep watching.
One of the product managers came by who was responsible for this product, and he goes, hey, well, we're working on naming your game. And I said, can I make a submission? Can I submit a name? And he goes, sure, why not? I said, okay, I tell you what, come by here tomorrow morning. I said, you guys won't have it settled by tomorrow, will you? He goes, no. I said, come by tomorrow morning, I will have something for you. I will have a submission for you. So now I know what I'm doing for the rest of the evening. And I don't know if you ever tried it before, when you just try to make up a new word, everything sounds stupid. At least it does for me. Everything, I can't come up with something that sounds cool. Everything sounds
Pioxis last night was doing a reacting to some of the videos I submitted, and one of the videos was a Mad Lib theater. So he did it himself, like wrote things as they came up, and then did the scenes. So his scene was his woodshop teacher was caught stealing 101 dildos in a CX. And jerking it 2 inches from the crime scene. Which, yeah, that sounds dumb, but...
So, being the algorithmic thinker that I can be at times, I thought, well, if I can't just spontaneously come up with some name, I should come up with a way to derive the name. I'll come up with an algorithm. It's a simple title, what's going on? Maybe I need an action thing. You know, because it's an action game, I need an action word. I don't know the name of the character, but I thought, you know, revenge. Revenge is a great action word because everybody wants revenge, right? So I figure I'll go with revenge, and now all I need is whose revenge is it? Now I just need the name of the character. And then I thought, well, one of the great ciphers is, you know, writing something backwards. That's never a bad idea. You know, the head of the company's name is Ray Kazar. And Ray spelled backwards, that's Yar. And Yar sounds pretty cool. It's got a Y in it.
Oh, wow.
So it's got like sci-fi, anything with Ys and Zs, and maybe an X somewhere. That's good sci-fi stuff. And I sat down and I wrote a 10-page story called The Yarian Revenge of Razak IV. And that was that was going to be the title of the game, The Yarian Revenge of Razak IV. I stayed all night in the office. I was done like 3:30. I just laid down on the floor in my office. And then around 10, in comes the marketing manager. And so I handed him the package. I go, here you go. This is the package for the story. I didn't realize it fully at the time, but what I had done was I had created the first backstory in the history of video games.
That's such a mood, just like, oh, it's 2 a.m. I'm not gonna go drive home to drive back to the office. Let's just find a corner. I've slept in some university rooms before. Ooh, there's a comic book. I'm not gonna read this, but I'm gonna slowly skim it in case anyone wants to read it after the stream. Because, yeah, I'm not. Oh, it does actually, like, tell the thing. Yeah, devour cell or touch the code tile. Wait, was that cell coming towards me? So that was a good thing for me then. Oh, okay.
A fly. I'll have a mutant fly. Hello, Yar. You'll need some protection. Ion zone. Shift chroma. Intensify. Okay, now you'll need some weapons. You have a formidable enemy. The Kotile. Watch it, Yar. He has a lethal drone. And some other tricks up his sleeve. Spiral. Go.
I might actually end off the stream after
I have a
this.
surprise for you. A Zorlon cannon. Use it, Yar.
Okay, so that's...
Fire again. Got him. That's revenge. Yar's revenge. A video game. Yeah, this can be fun. This can be a lot of fun. Like asteroids. Get him. Do it. Beautiful. Watch it. Disintegrate.
Why is there an ad for asteroids in this?
Deeper space. Galactic map.
Oh wait, is this...
Sector 11.
Oh, it has multiple things with stages in it. Oh, okay.
Sights in. Cylon warships. Attack. Steady.
This is a full... This is still advertising the game, right?
Star Raiders. That's it, Star Raiders. That'll keep them on their toes. Let's see what we can come up with next.
We're Atari. We have the vision, and we invented the
Okay, now I actually have to see if that's in... One second.
to you.
Now I have to actually see. I'm not gonna do... Well, maybe I will. Okay, first... Go back here. We'll play the children's version. Okay. Just to simplify it. Wait a minute. No? Okay, do I need this then? No, that's death. Okay, do I need... Do I need to catch one of these? Wait, I guess I could read the instruction manual. Zorlon cannon. Energy missile. That's a missile that's chasing me, but the Zorlon cannon. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Shit, I need to do this before it, Oh, okay, I need the dash not to be there. And then I need to touch the thing. And then I get the cannon. What? Okay. Do I have to be in the zone to do that, or? Okay, the cannon appeared. No. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm in the way of the cannon. Shit. Okay. Fuck. Okay. I got a hang of this. Fuck. There we go. Okay, that's the first phase, and then this is... Oh, it's still the same thing. It's just different shields. Oh, yeah, that's kind of funky. Okay. Mission log. That's cute. And then what's the So the other stuff in the game was just, hey, well, you're doing Atari, do some more Atari. Let's see. High-tech ad. Okay, it's going through. Okay. Just trying to see if there's anything. I knew the game elements the character was creating would be more interesting if they were flying at him or around him rather than just happening in front of him, so. They did a bunch of theater screen stuff. It's definitely a complex commercial. Oh, it's showing how it used a computer to how it's using early 3D software. And you know, a rectangle you can, or a cube you can create fine, but with their software it's just easier to do the math if it's curved surface. It's like Kip's anecdote about the BBC things from like the, you know, the late 70s or whatnot, where they just do the math for the animation and then they just, you know, send off the math for how it's supposed to look and hope the rendered version came out fine. Also some stuff about camera tricks. Yeah. Oh, and like, so, yeah, they had to do lighting and stuff that looked like computer graphic actually rendered on the person. That's cute. Yeah. Okay. Now that I know how to play. Fucker. Aw. There we go. Okay, now it's doing that thing. Okay. Cool. And then, it is saying that, you know, it's showing the dump and the stock going down. But, you know. But the video games industry's fortunes in North America were about to turn. Next time, though, we are going to go through the first console war because this goes through Intellivision, maybe ColecoVision, and goes into some of the things there. So yeah, that was a fun time. And Thursday I'll be doing some Halo again with Ben. We're gonna start Halo 2. That should be a good time. Honestly, those Halo streams have been a lot of fun, so shoutouts there. And we are gonna go and check out. Actually, I think I'm just gonna end it here. Thanks everyone. Thanks again, Masterman, for chatting. I always love chatting with you when I'm streaming, and thanks MCH for stopping by. And until next time, stay Atari.